Hey guys, it's Hunter and welcome back to another video. Now I'm a pretty public Epiphone fanboy, and so when this $99 Les Paul was announced at Summer NAMM, I was pretty excited to see what they could deliver at that price point. So is this Epiphone Les Paul SL a budget steal or a complete waste of time? Let's take a closer look. Now before we get started, for my regular viewers who tune in every week for high gain riffage, this thing does not djent at all. I tried, it sounds like poop. Yeah, so that didn't work. I went back to the drawing board and so instead enjoy this very chill tune, and after I'll get to the review. So with the Epiphone Les Paul SL, what you see is essentially what you get. This is a cheap guitar. The construction is incredibly basic. Poplar body with a bolt-on mahogany neck and a 22 fret rosewood fingerboard. The poplar body doesn't have a carved top, it's just a thin slab of wood. There's kind of a little neck pocket gap where the neck meets the body, but I don't think it's too bad. I've definitely seen worse on similarly priced guitars. Despite the single cut body shape and branding on the headstock, I'm not really convinced this is a Les Paul. I guess they called it that for marketability. With the flat top body and wraparound bridge, it's honestly more of a melody maker, but it sounds much better on Epiphone's part if they say they're offering a $99 Les Paul. The finish options are also pretty cool. This one's my favorite, Pelham Blue. Now $100 for a new guitar is obviously not a lot, and you can tell in terms of both components and QC. Even out of the box, there are quite a few scuffs on the headstock. The finish isn't very smooth, it's probably paper thin. There looks to be some excess glue on the fingerboard, and even the plastic volume and tone knobs are some of the cheapest looking I've seen. So just in case for some reason you were expecting something super high quality for 99 bucks, That's not what this guitar is about. Playing this guitar, to me, also doesn't really feel like playing a Les Paul. Firstly, the fingerboard radius of a normal Les Paul is a relatively round 12 inches, but the SL has a flatter 14-inch radius, which is preferred by more modern players, but probably won't be as well received by the purists. Any standard Les Paul comes with a two-pneumatic bridge and tailpiece combo. The SL, on the other hand, has a really cheap one-piece wraparound that pulls forward pretty noticeably. Despite everything though, it's actually really fun to play. The action on this one came low enough without a ton of fret buzz. The neck has a familiar slim taper D profile, which is found on other Epiphone and Gibson models. The fingerboard could use a good oiling, it's a little dry, and the frets are pretty sharp, but overall it's a pretty decent playing experience. One glaring con for this guitar is that I found it basically impossible to keep in tune. The stock tuning machines are pretty garbage, they have a lot of gaps. Those and probably the nut need replacing. This bridge also caused me some problems. The compensated wraparound stop bar combo doesn't have saddles, so the strings would occasionally move along the bridge slightly. Altogether, it basically meant that I was retuning this thing all the time when tracking the demo song. Like I would track one section, then immediately have to retune for the next. It got pretty ridiculous. So unlike your typical Les Paul, or even Epiphone for that matter, the SL comes with ceramic single coil pickups. Let's hear some clean tones through my DSL 100H. And now let's hear some dirty tones. So it's cool how there are kind of stratty sounds coming out of this shaped guitar, but in my opinion, these pickups are pretty terrible. They don't sound too great, and they're also incredibly noisy. Using any sort of gain, like when I was tracking the solo, was pretty much unbearable. Probably the worst I've ever tried in terms of background hiss, and I'm including the $30 Strat. That being said, really the only requirement for pickups in a $99 guitar is that they make noise, and yeah, that's what these do. And now it's time for Simon Says, the segment where we ask my roommate, who's still early on his journey from guitar noob to guitar master, to give his short review on the Epiphone Les Paul SL.
I have a bad feeling about this one.
Why do you have a bad feeling about this one?
This reminds me of that pink guitar you gave me, the one that was like 30 bucks. It looks cheap, but then I see Epiphone, and I hear you say Epiphone a lot when you're recording, so I know it's probably not cheap. Not very complex. There's 2 of these knobs instead of 4. It's got 6 knobs, it's got 6 strings. I like the color. Les Paul model Epiphone. So I know this is expensive, probably.
Really? Does it feel expensive?
No.
Okay,
well, let me take that back. I'm sure they make like cheaper guitars as well. Maybe like $500? $600?
You would guess $600? Lower.
Much lower. Okay, good. $250?
Lower.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cheap. 100 bucks?
Yep, $99.
That's a good deal. It's not made out of wood, obviously.
What?
Made out of wood?
Yes.
It feels like it's made out of plastic.
So who would you imagine playing one of these guitars?
I would say if I had like a daughter and if it was like her sweet 16, I would probably give this to my daughter.
So like, what kind of music would she play?
Taylor Swift.
So this is a 16-year-old female Taylor Swift fan.
I mean, everyone loves Taylor Swift.
That is true. Fucking love T-Swizzle.
Yes.
So, final verdict.
Yes.
Yes.
Double thumbs up. I love it.
So is this the world's greatest guitar? No. Is it a good guitar? Well, as it is, also not really. But it is still incredibly fun to play. It's only 99 bucks, and it wouldn't take that much to turn this into a pretty unique workhorse. For a beginner guitar, it's one of the better playing instruments I've tried out of Epiphone's budget offerings. For the collector/modder looking for a new cheap toy, the only things that really need to be replaced outright are the tuners and the nut, maybe the bridge. Tone is subjective, and some people won't be buying this guitar to record anyways, so I guess you don't have to replace the pickups, though I would highly recommend it. Overall, yeah, not a great guitar, but cheap and a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. I have my opinions, but I would love to hear yours, so leave them in the comments, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Huge thanks to Sam Ash for making this guitar available, and to Pad for writing the solo and mixing the demo. If you want to see Pad's thought process behind writing the solo, definitely check out his channel. Links to everything featured is in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. You've been awesome. This is the Epiphone Les Paul SL, and I'll see you for the next video.